So this is the weekly update. This is the 8th of July. I've not made a video last week, so I will briefly talk about books I read last week and this week. In terms of books, this month of July is a month that I'm going to read a lot of books. With this, I'm going to try. I'm going on holidays. I'm choosing some smaller books, so let's hope I can do this. In terms of books that I finished already 6 books. So let me talk a bit about these books. The first one I was reading last month. I just started. I ended this month was The Vagrant by Peter Newman. This is the first novel on the series. The series are called Vagrant, if I'm not mistaken. There are two more, Malice and Seven. This is fantasy with an inch of post-apocalyptic scenario. So basically, you have this world, fantasy world with knights and so on, and something happens, and there is like a breach on the world, and demons or something like that, infernal beings, arrive and start destroying the world, attacking the world. There are some knights that try to block them, but they have been probably complacent and fall very quickly. The monsters again start the conquest, and we are thrown 7 years into the future in a post-apocalyptic kind of scenario. We have homes destroyed, strange stuff. These monsters are give some kind of plagues to the humans they have in contact, so they change. And we have this guy here, the vagrant, with his baby girl, and there is a goat as well, but not here it seems. And these three are trying to survive in this post-apocalyptic world. Well, they are not trying to survive per se. They are trying to go to somewhere. In the beginning, we don't know where because the vagrant is mute, and the child doesn't talk. So most of the talk are done on other characters that appear from time to time and follow up the vagrant or help him and so on. So it's a very fast tale. We've got around 40 chapters, 33, 34 chapters in 400 pages book. The writing is quite big, so yeah, you can read this pretty easily. To me, there is like some kind of problem at this stage with reading fantasy. That's why I chose this one, because it's a mix, and I enjoyed it. Okay, I didn't hate it. I enjoyed it. I gave it 80 points out of 100, and I will continue the series because in the end, this tale is not complete. Okay, it's not an ending that you can say, okay, I'm done. I'm not following the second book, because some stuff is left unanswered. So yeah, this is the first novel of a trilogy, not the first book. And then someone, okay, you can make a trilogy out of this. So yeah, I'm continuing next in the next few months. The second book I read was called Comforts by Marianne, Halbert, and it's an horror anthology with several tales, around 10, 12 tales. And to be fair, I didn't enjoy this book as much as I hoped, and I ended up um, reading a tale here, tale there. So my goal was to read two anthologies at the same time, one short story each day. And I end up reading a bit more because they are short, very short stories, 5, 6 pages each. And I didn't enjoy the stories at all. I enjoy, I believe, one, but the writing, the way it's written, most of them are not or in my liking. So yeah, I can't advise to anyone. But Goodreads says it's a good story because it has a rating over 4.2 or something like that. Next one, it's not even on Goodreads. Well, it's on Goodreads, but it only has one review, which is mine. It's Blood in the Huertgen Woods. This is a tale of World War II dealing with soldiers either from German side and the American side. So basically, this that and before you think, okay, this is another glorification of World War II or German soldiers and so on. No, it's not. The goal here was, and the writer tells in the end about this, is to give some kind of importance to this story, to this battle that existed in the end of World War II between the Americans and the Germans as they fight and fought in that forest. And it was one of the last wins for the German Reich. But most of it, most important, and it's what is focused. It's not on that. It's the these people that were fighting. They were not politicians. They were not Nazis or Democrats or Republicans. Something like that. They were people fighting for their countries or for their freedoms or whatever you want to believe, and it deals with that part. It deals with the human part of those stories, and to me that's very, very, very important. And I enjoy because you see some actions, and I learned something from this. I learned that there was German officers, medics that help the US soldiers, and one of them ended up dying even as he tried to help. So yeah, it's very cool. Really enjoyed this story. Really advise. I give it 85 out of 100. Welcome to Punktown. It's not a good book, to be honest. If you know Jeffrey Thomas, he writes books in horror, punk, and so on. I enjoyed several of his tales. This one, not for my liking. This is Welcome to Punktown. Um, Next, we have Enigma Season by Eric Brown and Kit Brooke. This is a story about a post-apocalyptic kind of scenario, invasion alien scenario, where a couple of childs are trying to live in their lives. They live basically in domes, and they try to survive in some way. But some of them are questioning what has been told, and maybe these domes are not a salvation like they hope, but basically a prison, and so they're trying to investigate what happens because there are aliens. And then people went to those domes supposedly because outside there was pollution and death and violence, and so they live in those domes. But maybe the domes were not to keep people from going out, uh, sorry, to people coming in, but for them to go out. So maybe it's a prison. Who knows? If you read this book, bear in mind that this is a first part of a series of two books. Sorry, they wrote this one, and when you finish the book, I really thought, okay, I'm going to end this book, and unfortunately, it's one part of two. You will end up in the kind of well, on you end up in something that you know there's something else, but you don't know why. I have to search it, and I found out there is a sequel. Oh well, I gave it 50 out of 100 just because of that. Because I enjoyed writing, I enjoyed the story. Eric Brown is I enjoy Eric Brown's writing. Kit Brooke, I never read anything by him, but yeah. Then we have DarkNet, John R. Little. This is a book about a woman that is being mistreated by her husband. She beat her and so on, and she has to endure until one day she doesn't want more. And so she learned that there is something called the dark net, and you can buy someone there to kill her husband or to do something. And so she went to darknet and tried to figure it out, who what can be done to get rid of her husband because he beats her and so on. There is a child here as well. They have a child. Child is not prone to violence. He doesn't beat her child, but he beats her. She is a well-known radio host, but nobody knows about this facet. And so she goes to dark web, hires someone to kill her husband, but then stuff happens. And the dark web is not a place for you to go if you don't have the knowledge of the dark web. I think that the author investigated a bit about this. This was written in 2014, but I don't think it was well explained how this dark web and darknet works. But again, it's a good book, and I enjoy it. So yeah, I gave it a 78 of 100. It's a good thriller. I read this in one day, so you know it's good. So overall, it's a great tale. You can read it. It's fairly short, 250 pages. So yeah, you can do it without any problem. And currently, I'm reading Slash Viver. Let's hope I edit in the next few days.